coming out into the Gulf, and that's going to be bringing in a lot more of that moisture. A lot of tropical moisture, I should say. So lots of rain on the way for folks in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and also into Texas. And we're already starting to see that right now. Florida is also included in this because they're kind of the catalyst for it. So we have that front that's been sinking farther and farther south, and it's just stalled over the southern parts of Florida. And because of this stalled front, now we have that low starting to develop into the Gulf. So everybody's getting a little bit of that rain. Now, on top of this, there's a couple more factors that's also bringing in a lot more of that moisture. That does include parts of New Mexico and into Texas. More on that in just a minute. But first, let's start off with what's going on radar. Lots of storms occurring over into parts of Texas near Houston. Nothing severe at this point, but just some heavy rain. So be careful on that ride home from work this evening. Now, looking at that weak area of low pressure that's going to be potentially forming into the Gulf. It's, again, thanks to this front that's been stalling over Florida. So we're starting to get a lot more of that moisture tapping into that low pressure system, wrapping up around it and moving up towards the north. Now, on top of this, we also have a low that's impacting parts of New Mexico and also Texas with rounds and rounds of severe storms, or at least stronger systems, and that's been happening since yesterday. So those storms are going to continue to track and build up as this low even starts to move more towards the east. But once it starts to move towards the east, that low pressure system in the Gulf, well, it gets tugged over by that. So that's also going to allow for more moisture to be building into the Gulf Coast throughout Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Even part of the panhandle of Florida, too, will get in on some of this rain action as we get into the later half of this week and into your weekend. So we do have that flash flood threat Friday, Saturday, and into your Sunday, that level 1 out of 4. Now, it's on the lower end, but it is important to note that this flash flood threat does go a little bit more to the north as we move throughout the weekend, an indicator that that moisture is continuing to funnel a lot more into the northern parts of the country. Now, on top of this, too, we do have that low that's going to be impacting parts of Texas and New Mexico, bringing in a little bit more of that flash flooding threat, lots of storms building up there. But as we move into the later half of your Friday evening and overnight into Saturday, now it's going to be moving into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama as that low in the Gulf starts to trend more towards the north. It's not only going to be very intense rain rates, but also very strong wind gusts. So we have to watch out for that, too, as that low continues to track up to the north. And then everybody's getting in on more of that rain action, including Arkansas, Tennessee, even folks farther north than that. So rain forecast for the Gulf Coast, looking into the rest of your week and into the weekend, we do have a good 1 to 2 inches possible for multiple spots. More widespread, it'll be probably closer to half an inch to about an inch or so, but areas close to the Mississippi and also into Louisiana and Alabama Gulf coasts, you guys will probably get closer to 1 to 2 inches, maybe closer to 2 to 3 inches for some spots as well. So keep a close eye on that. We're potentially going to see some flooding on the roadways as well as into parking lots, all of that good stuff, especially throughout Louisiana. Now, on top of this, too, I did mention the winds. The wind gusts are going to be bumping up quite a bit. Probably by the end of the day today, we could see a good 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. Into tomorrow, maybe even 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. But by the time we get into the later half of the weekend, those wind gusts kind of die down as that low continues to track up towards the north. So then it's going to be everyone else's turn. Probably farther up to the northern parts of Mississippi and into Alabama, we'll start to get those impacts of some gusty winds and, of course, some more of that rain impact, too.